Today I'd like to welcome Dan Challans, who is the Head of Sales and Marketing here at Direct Pumps and Tanks. Welcome, Dan.
Thank you, Tristan. Nice to see you.
Tell us a bit more about Direct Pumps and Tanks and what you do, what your business is.
Well, we're a family-run business. We've been in business now for around 28 years, and during that time we've seen some quite large growth across the business. We've expanded into multiple buildings. Our roots really are package pump stations. That's where we started, and way back when, 28 years ago, when we started that, essentially we would buy GRP chambers in from other suppliers. We would build those out, and then off they would go out to the customers. Since then we've expanded considerably, so we've invested heavily in our tooling, which means now we have a large range of pump stations. We own all of our own tooling, all of our own moulding, and we do everything from 190 litres all the way up to around 6,000-7,000 litre tanks with our own tooling and moulds, and that's just in the package pump station market. In addition to that, we also serve water booster sets to customers as well, so we have a large range of water booster sets, and we also have a large range of rainwater harvesting systems as well, and across those three vertical markets we serve into domestic, commercial and industrial arenas.
Very interesting. Thanks for that. So in terms of your core markets then, where do you tend to be your focus? Is it direct to consumer? Is it through distributors?
About 85% of our business is all B2B. So we have large customers that we work with who have an online presence, or other customers who are dealing, who have specifications come into them, and then they'll specify our equipment out to those particular jobs. Only around 15% of our business is direct end to customer, because as much as possible when we get customers coming direct to us, we prefer to push those to our distribution network to support our distributors with our products and give them the best pricing possible.
Very interesting. So is that generally only in the UK market, or do you work globally?
I wouldn't say that we work globally. I mean, we are a UK-based business nationally. We do occasionally get some inquiries that come in from abroad, and just recently we've sent out booster sets to Dubai and also to Jamaica of all places as well. So I wouldn't say that international is off the cards. We'll certainly quote for it if something comes in, but our core market is definitely the UK marketplace.
Very interesting. And over the last 12 months, what sort of shifts and changes have you seen in the industry?
I think it's been a difficult time. Maybe difficult is the wrong word. I think maybe challenging, not just for us but for other people in the pump marketplace as well, from everyone that I've spoken to. I think with the rise in interest rates, it's put a lot of people off purchasing property, certainly until they see those rates come down. In addition to that, we've had an extremely wet winter as well, which means the ground has also been considerably wet, which has prevented pump stations going into the ground. So it's been challenging, certainly compared to when we look at the figures that we did last year. However, with that being said, the positives to take away from it are, even though we are facing those challenges as a business, we are still up compared to last year, which is great. It's also given us more time as well to focus on R&D of products, which has been really, really useful, so that we can bolster our product range and serve the market better with those products.
Very interesting. So just touching on R&D that you mentioned, is there anything you'd like to talk about on that? Any products you've launched over the last 24 months, and is there any coming up you can talk about?
Yeah, I mean, I think to start with, the first thing that we've done is we expanded our package pump station range. So our traditional range of package pump stations were really split down into three separate areas. We had what we call our micro stations, our mini stations and our maxi stations, and those maxi stations took you up to around 4,000 or 5,000 litres. But then what we did is we introduced the mega range, and the mega range is our largest tank, which is 1.8 metres diameter, and it goes up to 3.5 metres deep. So there was considerable investment for myself on that from a tooling perspective to be able to offer that to the market. So we brought that out maybe around 6 months ago, and that's been very well received. In addition to that, within our booster set marketplace, we've also had a large range of our horizontal boosters RAS approved, and they all have Kiwa approval anyway, but we've extended that with RAS approval on a lot of our horizontal Abara sets. We're also going to be expanding the RAS approval into our Grundfos and Nawara. In terms of upcoming products, we have got an upcoming product which we're really, really looking forward to releasing. We expect to release it in around October. I can't say too much about it at the moment, but what I can say is it's a new water booster, and we're going to be the only company in the UK to offer this particular type of product. So on that, I would just say, follow us on LinkedIn, watch our socials, and essentially watch this space, and we should have something to show you towards the back end of August, beginning of October.
Fantastic. Look forward to that.
Yeah.
So just on, you talked about having Kiwa approval and RAS approval. So are they legal requirements in the UK to have those?
It's a common misconception. So the legal requirement when it comes to putting any sort of clean water system in is Reg 4. You have to show that you meet Reg 4 guidelines. RAS is a really great way of showing that you meet those guidelines. It's a very well-known certification, but likewise KEWA is also a really great way of showing that certification as well, and showing that you meet those particular guidelines. So we do both across our range of products. We have KEWA on some stuff, we have RAS on some of the other products. We tend to go down the RAS approval more when it comes to the more commercial booster sets, because what we tend to see on technical submissions that it says it must be RAS approved. So for those type of applications we offer products which are RAS approved, but we also do like to have the conversation with those engineers to give them an education and try to guide them a little bit more on what the actual guidelines are, rather than just recommending a certain industry body, because there's multiple industry bodies out there that offer certifications to show that you meet those guidelines.
Very interesting. Now, and in terms of market opportunities, are there any products at the moment that you've got that aren't being used in certain markets that customers could be making use of, that sort of thing?
I think the biggest one, I think with a pump station or a booster set, it's one of those products where if you need it, you need it. It's not something that you can just sell to someone in the hope that they're going to buy it. They either have a need for it and then we're going to try and meet that need. I think one of the product ranges where we are starting to see more growth from people where it's a nice to have as opposed to a need is around the rainwater harvesting systems. People are becoming a lot more environmentally conscious. They're conscious of their carbon footprint, they're conscious of net zero requirements, and rainwater harvesting is a great way to start meeting some of those net zero requirements. So we offer a large range of rainwater harvesting systems for domestic applications, both above ground and below ground, and we go up to really large, quite intricate rainwater harvesting systems for commercial industrial application as well.
Very interesting. So obviously we're here today in Ilkeston, in your Ilkeston factory. Notice you've taken on a lot of extra space here.
Yeah.
Is there anything to talk about that you've taken on a lot of?
Yeah, with the growth that we've seen over the past 3 or 4 years, we've needed to grow for a number of reasons. The first one is we just needed the space, to be quite honest with you. In addition to that, we also needed the space not only for storage, because we do stock a large amount of product. One of our guiding principles is not only being cost effective and being readily available, but also having the stock on the shelf so we can meet lead times very, very quickly. I think historically, one of the factors within the industry has been that when inquiries come in, you don't want to be coming back to the customer saying it's a 6-week lead time, so we try to stock as much as possible, and because of that, that has necessitated that we need bigger premises. So when we started off 28 years ago, we had 2 units on the industrial estate. We are now up to 5 units. We're just about to take on another unit, and all of that is going to be used for not only housing products, but we're going to be looking at expanding the sales team. We're going to be looking at putting in a bit more of a bigger training centre here, so we can actually have, when we have people come in, not just show them the product in terms of what it looks like, but actually physically show them it in operation. And some of the extra space we'll be using for hopefully photos, videos and that type of thing to showcase our products better. So there's a lot on the cards at the moment, especially with the new building that we're just about to get. I think it's still up in the air at the moment exactly how that's going to be configured and what we're going to be using it for, but I'm 100% sure we'll put it to good use.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Also see some of your branded vans about, they look very smart.
Thank you. Yeah.
Talk to me about how many of those do you have? Are they mainly engineers, or are they just deliveries? What sort of things you use?
So we have around 3 or 4 vans at the moment. They're predominantly used for deliveries, collections, things of that nature, but we also do have a service van as well. We have some of our own team that go out and often do some commissionings, some installations, but we also work with a large amount of third-party installers as well and engineers, and we use those extensively for our projects as well.
That's interesting. So in terms of your network of third-party, is that something that you've already got set up, or is that something that new companies could talk to you about?
So we've had third-party engineers that we've worked with for many, many years, and we've got really good relationships with them. We know the quality of their work. We'd never send a third party out to site if we weren't 100% sure of the quality that they were going to provide to our customers, and it's worked really, really well. We're always looking to extend our engineering network. We have a good spread across the UK at the moment, but as with anything in our busy periods, those engineers can become busy and the lead times can tend to have some creep sometimes. So therefore, if you're an engineer and you're watching this and you'd like some more business, we're always open to working with more third parties and seeing what we can provide to our customers.
Fantastic. Well, I saw you were in the news recently. Congratulations
Yes,
on that.
yeah.
Talk to me about that system and that project specifically.
Yeah, that was fantastic. It really went a little bit viral online, which was really great. So we had a client who bought a couple of our pump stations, surface water pump stations, because he lives in a large property in a well-known floodplain, and I think he's been flooded multiple times before. All of his neighbours have been flooded before, and it just got to the point where he needed to do something about it. So he essentially built a large flood defence system for his house, which comprised of a flood barrier wall around the property, and then on the inside of that wall he had 2 of our pump stations which were installed, and those 2 pump stations essentially exfilled all the surface water that would collect out beyond the flood barrier on the external side of the property, and that went really well. He completed it about 1 week before the rains came in, so it was a bit of a Noah's Ark project in reality. He built the wall, everything got put in place, and then the rains hit, everywhere got really flooded. I think the walls are around 6 foot high, and the flood water reached about 5.5 meters high, 5.5 feet high. Sorry. So it came just in time. It was really well received, and the BBC went to site. They took some drone footage, and it was really quite incredible to see, all of the other properties in the area, unfortunately, hit by flooding. But it's a testament to his engineering skill and also to our product to see his property completely secured from the floodwater. So again, I think it's not only a testament to our product, it's a testament to his engineering skill putting something like that in. And if anyone's watching this who has flood related issues, or they live in floodplains and they're thinking about putting systems in, then please come and talk to us, and we'd really love to be able to help you secure your property and your contents.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Thank you, Dan.
No problem.
Thank you very much. Great to speak to you.
No problem.